So many coaches and consultants tell me that their client delivery relies way too much on them, that their offer just requires too much from them. So they're already hitting, 80,000, 100,000 a year and they want to go 250, 500, but they can't even see how is that possible because they're already feeling like they're at a ceiling. So here's a couple things I look at when I'm auditing their offers to help them figure out how they can scale without, burning out. Been there, done that, don't recommend it. So the first thing I look at really is what goes into the offer. So it's like the offer features, right? Specifically, time required. Now, some things here are actually quite funny because first thing we look at is like, obviously, who's the offer for? How does it help? How does it work? So they go, oh, we have this onboarding call. We have these weekly coaching calls. I create this thing for them, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm looking at how much of the client delivery requires your time. Second thing I'm looking at as in line with this is where can we add automations? So a very easy example is for most people, their client onboarding as part of their offer is too manual, right? So that's a very easy step where we can literally save them between 30 minutes and 2-3 hours per client just with their client onboarding. So I'm going to put that as an example here. Client onboarding. That's a very easy step to do. The second thing I'm looking at beyond client onboarding is anything else that could be made into a system, a process, an SOP, or anything else like that. So, for example, if you are an ads strategist, right? You probably have ad copy templates that you use over and over, or you might have a certain structure for how you map out and scale a campaign, or like just what are the patterns we can see that would allow us to systematize the offer to make it a bit more repeatable for you and start reducing reliance on you. Because if you can build out systems, processes, templates, SOPs, whatever, one, we can help train AI on certain things. And two, you can also train humans to help support you if needed. So there's less reliance on you. Or again, you train your clients to use these tools, less reliance on you. And you become more of that director ringmaster role where you're overlooking stuff versus executing on it hands on yourself all the time. So here, system, process, templates, et cetera, et cetera. I'm also looking at anything we can get rid of. I know that sounds really scary. What can we delete? So, for example, this happens with a lot of my clients who are like executive coaches or high level coaches, speaking coaches, and so on, that they spend 30, 45 minutes per client call making really detailed notes. And I'm like, is that really necessary? So, one, does that add value to your client? And two, like, if you already hate doing it and take you so much time, and it doesn't add that much value, can you just not do it? Or can you just send them 3 action steps? Or at the end of the call, can you summarize and say, hey, so here are the 3 action steps? Can we reduce the burden on you? And this kind of is twofold. One, if our goal is to reduce client delivery time, then we're looking at all the avenues. I'm not saying you have to do that, but we look at the avenues. And two, if you're like a coach or consultant, at least in my opinion, the client or the students should be learning and should feel empowered to take action themselves, not waiting on being spoon fed every step of the way. So it's actually good for them to also be thinking during one of your calls of like, oh, here are my action steps. Here's what I do next. So I'm looking at what can we delete? What do you feel comfortable with? Okay. And the last step, which is the most fun, is add AI, right? We do this last. So we delete stuff first. We add automations. We kind of systematize. Then we say, where can we add AI? And it could be like, hey, actually, one of the first GPTs I built for my clients was a webinar landing page GPT, because I realized the thing we do like multiple times a week is we give feedback on webinar landing pages. But we have a very specific formula, how we write the headline, the pre-headline, the sub-headline, the bullet points, how we view it. We have like a very specific way we do that, or I did. So I first had to realize, well, that's kind of the core thing, which is taking a lot of my time and it's repetitive. Can I turn it into a system? And I did. It's like, here's a checklist. Let me get all this stuff out of my head. Now that it's a checklist system, well, can I train an AI to do this? So obviously, my clients using my AI, it's never going to be as good as me writing it for them, but it'll get them like 70% of the way. And they'll give me a draft that's already had like one run through of how I view things. And I can give the final feedback and make it that much better in a much shorter period of time. So this is kind of the little overview, not changing the offer. So if we're keeping the offer the same, this is the overview I'm doing immediately to reduce client delivery on you. Notice I have not said hiring support coaches. It's something that is definitely not my first, my second, even my third suggestion to people, unless you are like scaling a bigger group coaching program and you already have more than like, 30, 40 active clients. Rule of thumb obviously depends, but this is kind of what I would be thinking about as you are processing this. So if this is like in line with where you are going, I'm doing a full training on this on scaling your one-to-one offers. So just drop Empire below and I'll send over some info.